may want to describe to us why she's given up psychology. I think it's fascinating and doing what she's doing, writing great books and coaching and giving seminars all over the world. So, but Sylvia, let in terms of the books, in terms of this uh, gentle teaching, the floor is yours. The mic is yours. I'm going to listen more from now on. Go
Well,
ahead.
I'm happy to be back. Thanks again, Jorge. But I love gentle teaching. Gentle teaching was brought to Puerto Rico by Dr. John McGee, who was one of the four authors that wrote the first book on gentle teaching. And there are a couple of books that they wrote separately and together. And he was my boss. He was the compliance coordinator for a lawsuit that was or still is in Puerto Rico, but it's kind of, you can look into it. It was Judge Helpe who was in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. McGee needed an assistant, and so they called me in as a psychologist, and I learned gentle teaching from him. And when I asked him how it all came about, he told me he was a psychologist in a psychiatric ward in the States. And he was looking at how people were treating the patients there, and he didn't like it at all. He said people were minimizing them, they were yanking them, pushing them, calling them names, um, being very bossy, and denigrating them. So he said, you can't do this. He wrote this huge memo of the things that they couldn't do to the patients. You can't yell at them, you can't do this, you can't push them, you can't. And then a nurse came up to him and said, okay, so you've given us the book on what not to do. What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, you're right. What can they do? And so they came up with the four pillars of gentle teaching is to feel safe, loved, loving, and engaged. So if at some point somebody is angry, or someone is showing some kind of anger or discomfort, or you can tell something is going on wrong, then think about which of these four is going on within them.
Mm-hmm.
They're either not feeling safe, they're not feeling loved, they don't have an opportunity to feel loving, and they don't have an opportunity to feel engaged. Which of those four do you think this person is going through?
Okay.
Okay. And then the tools for gentle teaching are four, and they're very easy. First of all, your presence. For example, if I'm here talking on the radio show like this, hi Jorge, it's not engaging. It's not making you feel comfortable. It's not making you feel, it's not appropriate, right?
Right.
So first of all is your presence. How are you standing? How are you sitting down? How are you presenting yourself?
And you're looking in the eyes. And
That's number two, your
Oh, okay.
eyes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
should have
that's
shut up.
perfect.
Let me shut
No,
up.
no,
Let
no,
me shut
no.
up.
That's perfect. I love it. I love it because your the presence is more about the shoulders. It's more about how your body is being. How are you holding your body?
Right.
Talking to this person, or engaging with this person. For example, children, if you want a child to calm down, you can't talk up to them. You have to come to their level.
Mm-hmm.
And many parents don't realize that. So they're saying, calm down, it's okay. But if you come down to their level, eye to eye,
Physically.
yes,
Right.
physically,
Okay.
it's much better. And then the eyes is the second one, because I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me. I talk with my eyes. So I can say so much by looking at you, and I have to stop myself because my eyes talk.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how you put your glasses. If you put your glasses a little bit underneath and you look on top of the eyeglass, how do you say that?
Yeah, well, I
You know
don't
what
know.
I'm talking?
Yeah, yeah, that's clear. Yeah, yeah. You're over. Your eyes are above the glasses.
Yes, the frame.
Yeah, yeah, on the frame.
So
Yeah.
that's like people think you're not even paying attention, and that's so the eyes. Also the hands. If you hold someone's hand, it's much better than if you hold their wrist. It happens with the elderly, it happens with children. So that's the third tool. And the fourth tool is your words. How you use your words. Which words do you use to talk
But
to
in terms of
someone?
the hands, I mean, you know, women to woman, or man to with women, it's comfortable. But man to man is very uncomfortable.
In this society, yes.
Yeah.
In India, I saw men kissing each other on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
In Greece, in Italy, in Puerto Rico, it's uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
for some men. Other men are more comfortable
But
with it.
more holding hands. I mean, other than a good handshake when you say you say hello, and that's important. But I mean, within a conversation or a relationship, to grab another man's hands is really very
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, but-
Are there cultures where that would be
But,
comfortable?
okay,
Yeah.
I suppose so. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay,
But when I'm talking about the hands as a tool, it's about not slapping people, not hitting
okay,
people, not pushing
not
people. So
holding
not
hands.
only holding hands,
It-
but how do you caress appropriately?
Okay.
On
yeah,
the
yeah.
shoulder, or do you caress in some place that is not appropriate,
Right,
and the
right.
person might not feel safe, loving, or engaged?
Okay.
So how you use your hands.
Okay.
Like you were saying, your children, you would wake them up caressing their hair or their shoulders. So that's gentle teaching, using your eyes to use as a surprise when you see them in the morning. I'm so glad to see you. Even with the eyes, you can say, I'm so happy to see you, right?
There's no. You had a couple of stories. Forgive me for interrupting you, but a couple of stories, of looking back of children that you had just met and how you were
Yes.
completely in ecstasy when they
Oh my God.
came up to you, give you a kiss and really show that they really liked you. There's no moment.
And I just met them that day.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
just met them a couple of
that-
hours
That makes
before.
it even more.
And just it's sad because just seeing them cry because they don't want to say goodbye felt so good. That they're gonna miss me or something like that. So yeah,
I'm just thinking that every Tuesday, my grandchild, that's for sure, comes and with our youngest daughter to home, and I cook them and this and that. But the great moment when I walk in, and she comes, just the way you're looking, with her eyes and her hands up, and she calls me hello, and she jumps on me,
Abuelo.
and I almost fall down, and but it's just one of the great moments of the week, and that happens a number of times. I see her a lot, and but yeah, go ahead, you interrupted you.
No,
The hands and the eyes,
because we were
and
talking
the-
about love. We were talking earlier about what is love to anybody or to somebody. And the 4 tools, if you pay attention on how you use your presence, how you use your hands, how you use your eyes, how you use your words, a little every day,
Mhm,
things can radically change in your life.
mhm.
How do you use these tools? For example, something so simple as somebody asks you, where should I put this? And most people will point, put it over there, please. And they'll say, please. But if you show them like if you're a host or a hostess in a program and you say, please put them there. And you put like a little
Without pointing,
spoon, like a spoon with your whole hand.
Right.
And you show them where to put it. That helps a lot. So it's
And,
little things.
putting it on a commercial basis, but it is so clear the difference of when you go into a store and you say, where is the wire such and such, and the person says, it's over in that section at the back on the right, and then there's the person that says, it's an aisle 14 at
Let me take you
in
there.
the back, and don't jump. It's an aisle 14 on the right towards the end. That's pretty good. And then the best is they say, come on, let me show you, and they go and they pick it up for you, and that's just the level of, and usually they can do that, but the stores that
You just-
do that is very
You just reminded me. The other day I walked into a store and I asked for something and they said, aisle number 4 where it says such and such.
He's criticized you
Like,
for asking.
sorry for not being able to read every label of every road to find what I was looking
All
for.
24 at home, at Office Depot, you know.
Where it says.
At Home Depot, excuse me, all
And I was
24,
like,
28.
thank you so much. She was having a hard time. She was having a hard day.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank you so much. Sorry to bother you.
And then so you liked, you know, from this mentor and
Yes,
and all.
Dr. Dr. McGee.
And it sounds profound and sounds
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
So then you decide to write a book. So tell the process of, you know, from learning about it to writing the book and
Yes.
tell
So
us about that.
I learned about gentle teaching, and there is a worldwide community. It's called Gentle Teaching International. So I invite you to visit the website, Gentle Teaching International. And then from that, they have one in the US, they have another group in the States, and another group in Europe. So they're everywhere,
Right.
people that love and
Do
actively.
they have a center, a retreat center?
They don't
No?
have a retreat
It's
center
just
yet.
it's a
No.
virtual.
Yes,
a
but
virtual-
but we do have conferences every year, and nationally and in Europe, and they do have their own conferences also. So you can
Okay.
go into Gentle Teaching International and find out more information. But Dr. McGee passed away in 2014, and that's when I decided, okay, all these people that I met through him from around the world, they will surely want to write a book talking about him and gentle teaching to help the world understand more about gentle teaching, and so we did. So this book is not only me. I'm only the editor, and I have one of the chapters, but there are 6 other chapters from people
Okay.
from Canada, England, Mexico, 2 from USA. So it's a little bit of Netherlands. It's a little bit of
A
everyone.
compendium, like a
Yes.
compendium of
So I wrote 7
people's
questions.
thoughts about gentle teaching and about him. A
Yes.
combination of.
Yes. Yes.
Of,
And it was so beautiful
are they
because
very different? One of us are kind of.
yes.
Okay.
That's what was so surprising to me when I received all the chapters. It was like we coordinated to each one of us talk about something different about gentle teaching.
Okay.
It was perfect.
Okay.
Some people were more technical, some people were only life experiences with their son, some were a little bit of both, and for me it was more about Dr. McGee.
Okay.
So it was lovely.
Some of me have not had a relationship with Dr.
No,
McGee. So,
correct.
So, you know,
Yes.
and then you had the.
I
how
was
lo-
I was
you- how
lucky
many
enough.
years-
2
how many-
years, only 2 years, but he would come
Intensive-
every month for a
intensive-
week.
a
Every
week.
month for a week, I had him. Yes,
Yeah, got that.
it was amazing.
And you know, in terms of the people that you met, have you retained relationships?
Yes. Well, I think I told you I was invited to Portugal to give a presentation in 2023. I gave it in Spanish. And then in 2024, they had an international conference there, and I was one of the keynote speakers in that conference. I was also invited to Canada to talk in an organization last year, 2024. And so, yes, I've kept in contact with them. I go to the international conference at
Oh,
least
but-
every 2 years.
But when I met with them, I mean the other authors, the other chapter writers. Have
Well,
you kept in touch? No, not really.
Only one of them.
No.
Mostly one of them. The others I see in the conferences, but the lady from Mexico, she's fallen out of touch. The lady from England, she retired. There are 2 people from the States, which I see them, Tracy and Charles. I see them in the international conferences. I saw them last year. The man from the Netherlands passed away. So it's and the man from Canada, he retired also.
Okay, so
So some of them, I still keep in touch with them now.
and you use this on a day-to-day basis with your coaching and your life, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I mean, this is-
Gentle teaching, I'm more aware of how to use my hands, not only with gentle teaching, but I've learned
One
a
of the
little
worst
bit.
things is to cross your hand like
Yes.
I'm doing. That means, I understand that means, you know, you're not that interested, but I don't, you know, I don't use it. What do you think crossing, you know, like I'm crossing
it's
right now?
supposed to be a nonverbal for I'm not open.
Yeah.
I'm not open to new ideas. I'm not open to conversations, which is something I don't get from you, from knowing you
No.
just a little bit. But it might um, others might get the wrong idea of who you are if they haven't met you and they see you. And some people say, Sylvia, but some people tell me I look like this and they feel like I'm like that, but I'm not like that. Then what are the signals that you're sending others without even knowing about who you are by your body language?
And I mean, I'm obviously fascinated with what you're saying, and this is, and interested and learning like crazy. But the crossing your arms, which I'm doing now, I see a lot of pictures of groups, they're either, and they have the photographer asked them to cross. They were taking pictures, for example, for WIPR and we went to a studio, and one of the poses they wanted me to do was to cut to the side and cross my arms and sort of look
Yes.
cocky,
Yes.
I felt really uncomfortable. I mean, but I see that so often in so
Yes.
many pictures.
Yes,
and-
like in
and-
profile pictures.
and-
But
and-
this is done on purpose.
Yeah, no.
Because it's like I'm here and it's my presence. I'm standing in my presence, and also putting your hands on
your
your
hips.
on top of your hips or on your waist. It's supposed to be a super pose. Like you're supposed to, scientifically they say also that you get your self-esteem comes up, your self-confidence comes up. So if you have a meeting that you need to be more confident about, then you should do the super pose.
Right. We've got about a minute in the second segment, and in terms of bringing this to our country, prisoners, adolescents, what
Parents.
it's a concept that, pardon me for saying so, but I don't think is known, in
No,
Puerto Rico.
it's not well known.
So
You're right.
What can we do? What can we do?
If anybody's
maybe we'll go
interested-
into the next. Maybe we'll go to the next step. But what can do? How can we bring it to the forefront and have something that's a tool?
Yes, if anybody's interested, give me a call or write me on one of my social media, and we can figure something out. Definitely, with trainings, with reading this book, going into the conferences. Anybody can go into the international conferences. There's one in the States, and then Europe, and then Canada, and then Europe, and then USA. So anybody can go to an international
Well,
conference.
you're involved in that, because I think in the third segment I wanted to discuss that I told you about the art of living and the experience I had, May, and after 81 years of life, completely a different experiences, and you talked about 2 weeks and went into silence. So when we come back and we run out of time, Hector, you're ready to take her away for the pause? So this is Jorge González, your host of Reflections. My guest today, that you've been listening, I've been just interrupting every once in a while, is Sylvia Fernandez Colorado, a psychologist, now a coach, and very gentle coach, right? Yeah.
I hope
Okay,
so.
We'll be back.